more than you.
Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Dynamic Dark Wolf, and today I'm actually here with some Rage ML. Now, see, I was thinking today, you know, I got up this morning, I was kind of bored, I got on For Honor, and I was like, hey, I want to play a little bit of Centurion, right? I haven't played him much. As you can see, he's only 15, and then I go into this game, it was already kind of late, and this guy comes up and ganks me. His name is, you know, Cisco Lives, you know, whatever. We don't really care that much. Well, alright, that's fine. So we go into another match, and then every single time that I went to actually fight this guy, something would happen. Well, my teammate was attacking him, I decided to attack him, and do the exact same thing he was doing all game, pretty much last match, and, well, we were duking it out over here, and again, you know, half of the time, most of the time, actually, let's note that. Most of the time, it would always be a 2v1 or in his favor or in my favor. But my teammate literally left that fight for me to do as a 1v1. And as soon as I got a chance to actually knock him into the wall, like he's doing the whole game period, he decides, you know, to pop revenge. Now, personally, I have no problem with revenge. But by the end of the day, my teammate left while he still had his health pretty much all the way up. And knocks me on the ground and knocks me down. And gets a jump attack and pretty much knocks me down with another regular attack. Well, they ended up killing him after he already popped his revenge because he was really going to get fucked over anyways, and so on and so forth. So pretty much, you know, the whole game turned into a 2v1 scenario, and we didn't really 1v1 much inside of the match. And the only time I'd ever see him alone is probably clearing some minions, and I'd try to go for it and all that other stuff. So pretty much, you know, after that last match, I was kind of, you know, I was like, okay, I mean, I can do that too, right? So I started ganking in this match while he was, note, rep 15. He literally switched from a Kensei to a rep 15 Centurion, trying to prove this, right? So we get into this 3v1. He gets, again, revenge and pops it as soon as I go for an R1, does a jump attack, and focuses me hard. So it's just kind of funny how hard he focused me, because even my teammate was attacking him in the back, and he did not care. He wanted to knock me down, right? Like, he's trying to prove something. And by the end of the video, you're definitely going to see what he wanted to say, and obviously I couldn't comprehend stupidity, or his type of stupidity. So again, here we go again. I didn't pop the revenge. I knew I was dead pretty much anyways. I could have. And I was like, okay, whatever. That's the death. We're winning anyways. That's fine. So we proceed through the match, of course. And we end up actually winning this match. Like, I revive. I go from the whole spawn point, get going and all this other stuff. But we actually won this match, right? And here's what's kind of stupid about this whole thing is, because he felt like he was superior, and because he felt like he was a better quote-unquote player, he decided to go ahead and PM me saying get good after this match, right? Which I'll throw a screenshot probably around near the ending of this part of the video somewhere. But so we get into this crazy 2v2. Well, not 2v2, it's more like a 3v1. But we get into this 3v1, he wins. Well, not him, his team wins. I was thinking it was a 2v2, but again, I keep forgetting that that was actually on their team. I did it while I was actually in this match. This is actually recorded over. So, you know, I respawn once more. And I decided to leave this long part of the clip in just to show that pretty much anything that we did, he would pop revenge. So that was a revenge earlier, or another revenge. So I decided to help out my teammate here with a Shinobi. Shinobi runs off. My teammate gets her. And I go to lock on to him, and instead it locks onto that, right? So here we go again with the whole scenario of, you know, 2v1. My teammate, of course, attacks him when I don't condone it whatsoever. He pops revenge once again, which is, you know, I don't expect anything less from a 3v1, 2v1 type of scenario. But, you know, my teammate just basically R1 spams him to death. And I'm like, okay, you know, you're going to get in my way the whole match, so screw it. So I come over here, I decide to help out my teammate, because my teammate, you know, after he respawned, my teammate was going to be pushed in corner. And again, he does the same combo as every other Centurion, you know, big whoop. He And what's funny is he considers this good, right? So anything that involves good is a, you know, a wall jump. Like, again, I don't expect many Centurions to do much anyways. So my teammate gets in the way again, and I'm like, well, screw it. You know, my teammate can have him. I'm going to heal. Because this is more of a team game rather than a single-person game, right? So there comes my other teammate. He pops revenge. It becomes a 4v1. Nope. Yeah, a 4v1. You know, becomes a 4v1. He actually parries that, which I'm not surprised. Again, I'm not a big Centurion fan. Obviously, I'm only level 15, so I'm just taunting here. But then, of course, let's move on to the next area, where we start to go ahead and go down here to catch this. They break again. You know, we start clearing minions, having a good old time. You know, we're just here to see. And then I see him up there going towards A. So I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine. You know, I'm going to stop him from capturing A. Whatever. But then I realized it wasn't him, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll help chase this shinobi down. And this, of course, it's funny, because this shinobi was giving me problems in the previous match. But, you know, so I'm wanting to make sure that we get to make sure they don't do anything. I see him clearing minions, and I'm like, okay, I'll fight you here. Well, he you know, I get a guard break, and he starts backing up, and I'm like, all right, if you're going to run, I'm just gonna, you know, go ahead, you know, bye-bye. I'm not gonna go chase after you. So I started just clearing out minions. He runs all the way up, I guess, to go help his teammate, right? But then this is the part where I actually see him go into A, and then he does the full normal Centurion combo, which I'm not very good at keen with Centurion. Like, I mess up a lot of his stuff because it's just weird for me. So it does throw off my guard break a lot whenever I'm playing somebody new. Like, I wanted to actually learn Shigoki, which Shigoki isn't hard to learn. It's just more like you got to learn how to execute them well. So, you know, I'm putting, for a person that's really low on HP, I'm putting up a good fight. It's easy, you know, and then he goes and does an unblockable, which, again, is normal Centurion stuff. We get to the end, you know, they pretty much gank him and kill him, right? So we win. You know, victory is ours. That was a good fight, right? So he sends me a message saying, before saying sorry, get good, guy. And I'm like, so you're mad because you're rep 15? You go and double team me the whole time beforehand? And I'm the one that needs to get good, right? So we give him the same treatment he gave me in the last 2 games. He didn't get to pop his revenge, which if he would have popped his revenge, that would have been a whole different story. But he didn't get to pop it because I threw out that R2. And it's just really, really funny. Really funny that, you know, that's what he focused on. So I went after this warden. This warden wasn't a big problem in my eyes. He was the typical warden that, you know, got scared of most attacks. He did do a decent amount of stuff that I was thinking. Again, he does the short one, then does the long charge one. I dodge it, get it off with an R2 after a throw into the wall. You know, I get it. That's pretty much what Centurion does. But I zone him out, and then he comes out of nowhere, and then here comes my teammate once more. Now, again, he sit here and did message me again saying that he was destroying me the whole match, when the whole match was literally this scenario. My teammate would come out of nowhere, he would start doing stuff, I would get he would get double teamed, he'd get revenge and always pop it on me and focus me until I died, right? Like he wanted to prove something. Which, again, you're not proving nothing by the end of the day, because I simply was just trying to play the game. And it's just funny that to see people send such rage mail over the smallest things. Like, you ganked me in the beginning of when I first joined, right? And then you're gonna sit here, and when we gank you, all of a sudden we need to get good, right? I still don't understand his logic on this. I really don't. And thank goodness I was recording this whole match. So I think I'm gonna get a 1v1 here, and then here comes his teammate. You know, once again, like I said, it was the same thing over and over again. It would either be one or the other. It would never be an actual legit one-on-one. Either I would get 2v1'd, or he would get 2v1'd and get revenge and screw me over. I never got revenge because my character doesn't focus in it at all. So, shout out to this digital guy, though. This digital guy wasn't a bad Centurion, but he also wasn't the type of Centurion that got salty at me for, you know, But see, that's my typical Centurion fights. So again, you know, I go for the gank as much as anybody else was doing the whole game, and he gets revenge. So he focuses the Shigoki. I get it, the Shigoki's, you know, a threat, but then my teammate comes in and throws in and gets the kill. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So here's my chance to actually get a 1v1 in. He goes for the typical dodge of the shoulder charge and then goes straight for the whole, you know, guard breaks and Torian combo that he just can't seem to stay away from. And then my teammate, which is a Shigoki, comes through, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So I get the, you know, I get the whole shoulder bash, but unfortunately I ran out of stamina and ended up doing that. Well, my team Shigoki went and did the whole shoulder charge, and then his teammate came through, which, you know, he did. I don't know who was doing the dirty bombing, but you know, I left because I was too low on HP because of that whole scenario, because I was being focused on. So I'm sitting here looking at a score like, okay, how are you below me since you're, you know, I need to get good. How are you still below me in, you know, the team fights that you obviously keep on doing, right? So we win another match. We win another match. Now I could show you the next match, right? Which I'll show you a bit of, but pretty much in this match, all they did was gank, right? And that's fine. So I finally decided, after 3 matches later, to respond to him. Because he did tell me to get good, but in this match, he just 3v to 4v1 everybody. I get into a 1v1, next thing you know, he's coming up somewhere, reviving somebody. And then it becomes a 3v1 or a 4v1. And I'm like, okay, so I'll send you a message back and respond. And I'm actually going to read out this whole message just so I can, you know, throw my bits and pieces of what I'm trying to understand. So if you'll give me like 1 second, I'm actually going to edit the part of the video that I need y'all to see and just give you the general idea of what happened the whole match. So just 1 minute. So at the end, I said it says get good when it's get good, twice ganks, 3v1, you know, so on and so forth. But then he says I'm the one that's salty. So I'm like, you know, you're telling me to get good, but I'm salty. Whatever. He's like, I can't beat him, but we won twice, right? And you know, he's gonna sit here and say that, you know, argue and shoot a 1v1 and all this other stuff. You know, I don't understand the stupidity of others, guys. Like, he said so much stuff that it's funny. Now, I could have sat there and 1v1'd him, probably proved that he was right or wrong. Either way, in the case of scenario that was going on. So, but I don't understand how salty people get this right mind that they have some sort of obligation to literally sit there and send you a message because they win in fights. Like, if you haven't noticed, the game mode's called Dominion, and there's 4 people. Last time I checked, I didn't see a 4-letter word where one person goes against another one person. And that's the problem with salty players. It's like they expect a 1v1 out of you, but they can gank you first. Or do ganks out of you and do all the things in a 2v1, 3v1, 4v1. And yet they're the ones who are salty whenever you do it back. I just don't understand the stupidity of other people. Now, I could, like I said, have sat there and 1v1'd him, but that wouldn't have made a difference. Obviously, it wouldn't have made a difference because by the end of the day, he was just salty about the fact that he lost 2 matches and then ganked the 4th match and told he was garbage back. Like, you don't sit here and tell somebody that they're garbage and then get mad at the person when they call you out for what you were doing the whole match. And this is pretty much what he probably was aiming for whenever he looked at my profile and was, you know, while he was in his salty rage, like he was wanting something out of it. Attention, I guess. I basically told him that his dad probably didn't hug him enough, you know, back and forth standard, you know, stuff. But he literally, inside of the message, if you go back and look, he said that he's not gonna argue, you know, GG and all that with a kid. And then, you know, he said something about his dad telling him to, you know, beat on little kids, but yet he tries to be, he's acting like he's an adult in the situation when he literally PM'd me saying, get good. Like, I'm probably older than he is. I don't even know. And even if I'm not, it's really sad to see somebody message you that is twice, or not even twice, but is older than you. It's like, you have some sort of maturity inside of your like at all to, like, you must have some real anger problems. That's one. Your marriage or your parents didn't treat you the way they should have. That's two. Or three, your pride is just so big that when you lose something, it hurts. And I looked at his background, and he had actually a picture of Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse 2, so that kind of explains how salty he must be. You know, because most people that play that game do have a lot of pride, and like, I must be Prince Vegeta, you know, like, they have that type of pride. But by the end of the day, you know, this was funny to me, because I sat there and literally was trying to understand the stupidity of this person, trying to see where he was coming from. Like, I get in the same scenario where I'm the better player and I win my 1v1s, but when I get 2v1, I get screwed over, and so, you know, by that one extra person, because there's always something. Like, for example, I sometimes go and do a 2v1, I beat one person, then a third person comes out of nowhere while I'm fighting this other person, revives that person, then it becomes a 3v1, you know, type scenario. So I guess it hurts, but I never really felt that much rage to message somebody over a video game telling them that I'm that superior. I think the closest thing that I ever did was told somebody to, you know, keep on ganking me, because I was actually happy that they were ganking me, because I was doing these 1v1s and they weren't really that much of a big problem. So I was like, you know, hey, thank you for the ganking, because that's the only way that this other guy was really actually a challenge, you know, is because literally, you know, the ganking is what gave it a better fight. Because I was getting so bored in the 1v1s, it was ridiculous. Because, you know, when you play Dominion, you expect the ganks, and that's kind of why I play Dominion, because when I go to duel, it's not so much fun, because you either get turtles, you get the spammers, or you end up getting complete tryhards. And it's like, yeah, I could sit there and do duels. I can go to Executioner, right? I had fun in Execution. It's pretty fun, but it has low activity, so I don't feel like waiting that long. And even then, some of the tryhards are there, and they're doing a lot of things and all that. And, you know, that's why I like Dominion in some sort of fashion or way, is because even when you're not the best, you gank and you can still win. And the whole focus of Dominion is literally to work together as a team, capture the points, and win the fight. And by the end of the day, that's what we did. The whole match from the beginning and to the end, where I actually played a full match with this guy, again, it was nothing but 2v1s on his side or my side. And then when I got into a 1v1, either my teammate would come through, or when I got in a 1v1, he'd be surrounded by minions, or his teammate would come through. It was always the same case scenario. And it's kind of funny when somebody tells you to get good, yet you didn't really get a legit 1v1, and then you're going to sit here and keep on telling that person to get good and all this other stuff when we won the fight. Like, we won the whole round. We won the game mode. That's the focus of the game. So by the end of the day, you know, as long as I'm winning and having fun, I don't care. You know, this person tried to send me a lot of hate mail and try to make me care, but by the end of the day, the only reason why I made this video is to prove a point for all the people that are salty, for all the people that do get mad over the fact that somebody isn't that good but they still win your fights. By the end of the day, that person doesn't care. They're just trying to play their game and have fun, because they spent $60, they spent $100, they spent whatever amount. If they bought the deluxe edition or the regular edition, they spent that money. They could do whatever they please. Even if they're complete and total ass of the game, by the end of the day, they spent the money, they could play the game. That's like me sitting there and saying, oh, you know, I paid for a game that's $120 with the season pass and the deluxe and the extra cool stuff, the theme, you know, the extra points. Like, for example, COD 4. Like, if I bought the deluxe edition, oh, I paid for it more, so why do I have to sit here and deal with these people that didn't play or pay the $120? Like, they only played like $60. What peasants and what little people that they are because they don't have all the money in the world to spend on my game. First of all, it's not your game. You just play a game that's for a mass amount of people. You're nothing special. You're just another player. And that's why I guess people will never stop getting hate mail, never get insult mail. Like before this update, I actually had a person that told me to get good when I beat them with a Valkyrie and they ganked me and still lost the fight. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how to play your game, so don't message me and telling me how to play mine or how to sit here and tell me that I'm bad. I'm aware of how I play just as much as anybody else is aware of how they play. But by the end of the day, don't go around messaging people because you're mad that you lost. I get it. Losing hurts your pride. But I'll close this door. Sorry about that. But by the end of the day, your pride doesn't matter to that person. And you could be the saltiest guy. You could be the best player in the world. But that's why you're not in competitive fights, I guess, is because of your rage and because you're not actually that good. And that's why I actually like watching Pro League players, because regardless of how badly or good they do, they tend to have a GG at the end every single time. Even though they probably go home and talk crap about that person. Or, you know, maybe they don't go home and talk crap. Maybe they have the utmost respect and be like, I want to be as good as him someday. But they don't sit there and PM them over the fact that they're mad. They don't sit there and cry about it, pretty much making it where they message people to try to make it to where they are supposed to care. Because by the end of the day, that person's just doing what they want to do. You know, I know you're probably too stupid to understand it. And you're probably too salty at the fact that, you know, this video is basically calling you out. But literally don't sit there and try to trash on people when you're not even the best player in the world. I don't see you in pro leagues. Last time I checked, there was no Crisco lives inside of the, you know, the Pro League For Honor community. And that's kind of why I like actually watching PCs, because it's instant hate mail. It's not messaging. It's not, you know, something stupid. Now, this is the only probably the only salt mail I'm gonna get, unlike Killjoy Roger that said he was gonna quit, but then makes a salty video, a salty YouTube video. I'm kidding. All right, Killjoy Roger's a pretty cool guy. I'd never met him personally. I never played against him personally, but you know, I like his Shigoki, and I like his the way he plays a lot. I don't sit here and play that much or as much as him, and I'm pretty glad that even though he's branching off, he's still going to be doing For Honor videos, and I'm glad he's part of the PS4 community. But by the end of the day, you know, I see why he gets hate mail. And even when, you know, I see why he gets hate mail, because he's actually good. And then I sit here and wonder why I'm getting hate mail when I don't care whether I'm the best or whether I'm using my main character and winning. Like, if I really was wanting to win and try hard, I would have picked up my Rep 16 Valkyrie and told him to meet me in a 1v1. But by the end of the day, I'm just playing the game to hurry up and level up my Warden. I don't have time to waste sitting here doing 1v1s against a Centurion that's being petty because they lost a match in a Dominion game mode. So it's like, should I go 1v1 this guy, or should I keep playing my For Honor and leveling up my Warden? Because I'm recently trying to get Warden up to level 20 so I can get his gold, and then I'm pretty much going to drop him and pick up another character, because, you know, I like my Valkyrie, and I could literally go and keep playing Valkyrie to get her to rep, you know, 60, but I don't care about going that high with one character straight off the bat. I want to mess around and learn how to play multiple characters, not sit here, play a bad character, and then send hate mail after I lost with my good character just to try to prove that I'm superior in some sort of way. Like, when you start as a player that's playing Kensei as a rep 3, then you switch over to your rep 15 Centurion, and lose 2 fights and then PM somebody, it's obvious that you're salty. I simply gave you a response back and you simply took that as salt yourself, when by the end of the day, you're the only salty little peanut here. There's a whole bag of peanuts. There's a whole bag, and you're that one salty one, right dead in the center. The one that just gets the most salt. No, you're at the bottom of the bag, actually. The one that gathers up the most salt. Period. Because we simply, as a community, bury people like you and don't care. I know this video actually went on a lot longer than when I was actually intentionally making it. It's just when you see a salty person, I'm trying to get this among all the people that get mad at this sort of thing, regardless of what game you play. By the end of the day, they spent money on the game just as well as you did, and they're not going to care about your 2 cents or your opinion. Especially me. So don't bother messaging us over your salt. Cause, well, I hate to use the same boring ass wolf line as any other. But, again, wolf don't care about opinions of sheep. It's a bit dynamic, Dark Wolf. Hope you guys have a wonderful morning and a beautiful day. And try not to be salty just because you lose. If you lose, instead of sending a person a message about how bad they are, why don't you walk outside, take a deep breath, relax, and realize that everything is okay. See you guys next time. Peace.